Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Off the Cuff. It's been a minute since I've been Facebook Live, so it's finally good to see everybody on the internet again. I just gotta share it. Okay, boom, got it shared. All right. Hey, Wade, good to see you, buddy. It's been a minute since I've been Facebook Live, so it's good to see you. So much for my ink. The ink just totally decided to crap out on me at the last minute. And now I can't read any of these notes. It's off the cuff though, right? That's what matters. Hey, Wade, all is well. All is well. Just kind of trying to get everything back into the swing of things of being normal. So, but other than that, things are good. Can't complain. You know me, out here surviving. Hey, my trip was good. I'll actually talk about that on the air. I plan on talking about it. So I'll save that for the air. But it was really good. Best trip of my life. Best trip of my life. It's always so hard to come back from vacation. For real. Because like, you're just so, hello from cold Ohio. Hello from cold Kentucky. It's actually 50 degrees outside, which, yes, I have a short sleeve shirt on because it's hot in here. It's like 100 degrees in here, but I have my winter coat over here. Hey, Rhonda. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Miles. Warren. Warren, are you going to meet with me after the show today with Renee? Because I hope you are. I hope you are. 32 degrees in Ohio. Wow. That's cold. $32. Well, it's technically not freezing. Because isn't it below freezing is what's considered, or below 32 is considered freezing, or it's 32, like the freezing number. High 16. Oh my gosh. Are you from Lima, Ohio? Is that where you're from, Elaine? Because that's pretty north. I know we're supposed to get some cold weather coming up. We had our first day back at school yesterday for faculty to go back, and everybody was already ready for finals. The first day getting in there, everybody's like, okay, let's go final weeks. I'm just ready for the summer. I think I've had my fair share of winter, so I'm ready for it to warm up just a tad. My goal is to make this summer the best summer of my life, because last summer was not the best for a lot of reasons. So this summer, I've got a goal to make it the best summer of my life.
Hi, I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Bridget, and we are the hosts of Real Life Keto Radio.
And you are
all right, we'll be on the air in 2 minutes.
WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington.
Hello, Margie Belt. Thank you for tuning in. Valerie. So you guys can listen to the show on Facebook. You can listen to the show on the app. You can tune in on the radio and listen to it. It's however you want to listen. Don't go yet, Elaine. We're just getting started. Now, tell me what you do again, Elaine, real quick before you go. Hey, William and Kim Schmitz. Now, which one of you between the two is watching, William or Kim? All right, I'll be on the air in 30 seconds. We'll be live. Oh, guess what's coming up in like 2 weeks, everybody? Guess what's coming up next week? Next weekend. My birthday. I will be 36 years old.
Hi, I'm Deborah Hensley, and this is Radio Lex,
Here we go.
Voice of the People, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington.
The views expressed on this program are not necessarily the views of Lexington Community Radio or its board of directors. The views expressed are solely those of the programmers.
You are listening to Off the Cuff. Now, here's your host, Adam Banks.
Welcome everybody to Off the Cuff. I am Adam Banks coming at you live from Lexington, Kentucky. Thank you for listening to the show and thank you for tuning in to WLXU 93.9 FM. In addition to listening on the radio, you can check out our Facebook live stream at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, or you can download the show from the radio station website at radiolex.us to listen to us anywhere in the entire world. I am broadcasting from the Deborah Hensley Studios here at Radio Lex on North Limestone. It is January the 11th, 2024, 4:01 to be exact. Ladies and gentlemen, the first show of 2024, and it's very exciting just to say that. A new year, it just means it's like the brink of possibility. What could happen? A blank slate, a blank page. I love a good new year. And this is the first show of 2024. And since it is the first show of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks in 2024, I do want to go ahead and make an announcement, make a declaration, ladies and gentlemen, right here at the start of 2024. Folks, I am officially, as of today, the very first broadcast here on Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, I'm declaring myself a new title. And that new title is the King of Radio. That is right, folks. You are listening to the King of Radio right here on Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. And I am declaring myself the King of Radio. And many people will ask, well, Adam, where's your crown? Well, eventually, all kings have to have a crown, right? So eventually, we'll see about getting me one. But basically, that's all you got to do to be known as or considered a king. You have to declare yourself. Self-declaration. Michael Jackson, how is he the king of pop? Well, he declared himself the king of pop. How is Elvis the king of rock? Well, he declared himself the king of rock. Nobody just came over him and just ordained him a king. What about Howard Stern? He calls himself the king of all media. He calls himself that. Nobody else named him that. He named himself that. And what happened is after he declared himself a king, eventually everybody else just fell in line. So eventually, everybody else will just fall in line with the new title that I have given myself. Now, as the new King of Radio, you are listening right now to the King of Radio. Folks, it has been a crazy couple of weeks. I am just now getting back into town. I haven't been back long. Last week on the show, if you tuned in, I wasn't here. It was a replay because I was in Las Vegas. I traveled to Las Vegas on New Year's Day, and it was the first vacation that I have been on since 2019. And I don't know if that's what it was, but it made my trip the best trip I've ever been on. I flew there. Obviously, it's the only way to really go to Vegas. It's so long. It's about 3 hours, 45 minutes in an airplane. Aviation is extraordinary. The downside of aviation, I really think the only downside of aviation besides doors falling off and people falling off into the tarmac before it takes off, I feel like that the only downfall of aviation is how bad they treat your luggage once it arrives to the airport. I was so excited to show off this new luggage that I bought. It was silver. It was that hard plastic looking luggage. And they tossed that every which way it could possibly be tossed. When I received my luggage, when I got back to Lexington at the airport, there was black streaks all the way down it. OCD here. I couldn't stand it. And I was trying to rub it off as much as I could. But I know that eventually when I travel again, it's just going to be marked up again. They need to chill out on how bad they treat the luggage. But I stayed at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas on the Strip. It has everything that you need. The view that I had at the MGM was like I was a part of a Vegas production. It looked like that my room could have been in a movie because it overlooked that iconic MGM sign, that iconic MGM lion. You had just such a perfect view of the Strip, of Caesars, of the Bellagio fountains, of Planet Hollywood, the big Sphere, everything I could see from my window. You don't have to leave the hotel room either. It has everything that, you don't have to leave the resort, I should say. It's got everything that you need there. Comedy clubs, magic shows. It's got a food court, a plethora of bars and clubs. I think one of the biggest nightclubs in Las Vegas is right there in the MGM. So there's no need to even leave. It's no need to even leave the hotel if you don't have to. The smell of ganja is everywhere because it is legal out there. You walk outside, you smell more weed in Las Vegas than you do cigarette smoke. Time doesn't exist out in Vegas either. It's 3 hours behind. It was hard for me to get back into the groove of things when I got back to Kentucky because I eventually got on Vegas time, which is 3 hours behind us. So right now it's 1:06 in Vegas. 1:06, that's all it is. I mean, I'm at 1:06 in Kentucky. I'm just now waking up almost, just now having my brunch because I start my day pretty late. But in Vegas, it was hard to get used to that time. It doesn't exist out there. There's no clocks. Nobody really pays attention to the time. Things are costly. You are going to pay for things. I think I bought maybe 10, 11, 12 bottles of water when I was out there. Each time I bought a bottle of water, it cost me over $7, $8 to buy it. But you do what you got to do to stay hydrated, and you know you're going to spend a lot of money when you go to Vegas. It was a 3-day vacation. That's all I went on. I feel like 3 days is the perfect length. I could do 4, and I could do 7 max if I was traveling outside of the country. But if I'm traveling in the country, I think 3 days is the perfect amount of time for anybody to travel because 3 days is perfect. By the 4th day, you're kind of like, well, I could stay another day, but I kind of want to go home. And really, by the 3rd day, you're ready. You're already kind of sick of the person you went with. You're already kind of sick of all of the glam and the allure of Vegas. So I just feel like 3 days is the perfect length, and I'm glad that I planned it that way. Vegas is one of my absolute favorite cities in the entire world. It embodies entertainment and freedom. I am a big fan of Las Vegas. But folks, enough about my trip. This is the first show of 2024, and we, as a country, we have a lot of things to look forward to this year in 2024, and that's what I would like to talk to you guys about right now. Of all of the things that we have to look forward to in 2024, and I have a list here of all of the great, exciting things that will be happening this year in the year 2024. Now, let's just go ahead and get this out of the way. Off the Cuff turns 10 years old this year in 2024. But other than Off the Cuff, we all have a lot to look for. This year, there's going to be a leap year. Yes, there will be a February 29th. So all you leap year babies, it is your year to shine. We're also going to have the Olympics this year. We're also going to be having a U.S. presidential election this year. May God have mercy on all of our souls when we have to deal with that election as it starts drawing closer. And we'll have more political talk, I would say, starting up pretty rapidly at the end of the summer, because that's really when things start rolling with the presidential election. There's going to be new movies coming in 2024. And folks, how excited are you about the new movies and the new TV shows coming to this year? Because we had that strike that we had to deal with in 2023, and it was rough on everybody. There was crappy movies, there was crappy TV shows, but thanks to the writer's strike being over, 2024 is going to look a lot different. We can always rely on the magic of cinema to make us happy. This year in 2024, the new movies we got coming, and we got another Mean Girls coming, we got another Ghostbusters coming, we've got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, we've got Despicable Me 4, we've got Twisters, which is a sequel to the Twister movie, we have an untitled Deadpool project, we have Beetlejuice 2, we have Transformers 1 will be coming to theaters in September. Another Joker movie is coming to theaters, Gladiator 2, The Lord of the Rings, another one of those is coming. Another Karate Kid is coming. Sonic the Hedgehog 3 is coming to theaters. Mufasa, which is a spinoff of The Lion King, is coming to theaters. So a lot of great movies coming in 2024. Also in 2024, folks, we get to look forward to a total solar eclipse. Remember that whole hoopla about the eclipse in 2017? Well, we're getting another one this year. This will mark the last time of the path of a total solar eclipse until 2044. So you can expect to see the solar eclipse on April the 8th. Also in 2024, NASA plans on returning people to the moon. That's always exciting to see that. To each their own. I have no desire to ever want to go to the moon. I would die a happy man, never going into space or going into the moon. But I appreciate the people who do go. Just like we have new movies, folks, we have new TV shows coming to the small screen in 2024. We have a Mr. and Mrs. Smith coming on Amazon Prime. We have an Avatar TV show coming on Netflix. We have a show called Shogun on FX Hulu, which brings the life of this iconic figure from Japan into play. A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is coming to TV. Also, we're going to have returning favorites like The Bear will have another season. Bridgerton will have another season. House of the Dragon, Curb Your Enthusiasm will return for a 12th and final season this year. Also in 2024, Facebook turns 20 years old. That's right, it's been 20 years since the launch of Facebook, February 2024. And we'll talk more about the launch of Facebook when we get on the actual anniversary date of it. But I miss the old Facebook, back when it first started in 2024, back when it was called the Facebook and only college students could get it. So you didn't really have to worry about what you posted because mom, dad, papa, and grandma, and Bubby and Sissy weren't going to see it. So everybody could really get frisky on Facebook during the college days. But Facebook turns 20 this year. Also, in 2024, folks, a new college football playoff picture will happen. The 2024 season will accumulate in a new 12-team playoff, a big upgrade from the current 4-team structure that causes so much strife and argument every year. Moving forward, the highest-ranked conference champions will get a playoff bid, as will the 6 remaining top-ranked teams. So some changes in football coming. There's some new music coming in 2024. It will bring a fresh crop of new music to our ears. Jennifer Lopez is going to be dropping a first studio album since 2004. So 20 years since J-Lo's first studio album, or since her first one. She'll be having a new album come out this year. Green Day will also be releasing their new album, their 14th studio album this year in 2024. We can also expect new music from Usher, Cardi B, Dua Lipa, and lots more. There's going to be lots of new concert tours taking place in the year 2024. You guys know that Taylor Swift dominated the concert tours last year in 2023. Well, she's going to continue that in 2024 because this year she will be touring in Europe, and then she will be doing the last leg of her North America tour in the fall. Billy Joel, Stevie Nicks, Blink-182, and Bruce Springsteen are also going to be touring. We also have some country music giants going on tour in 2024. George Strait and Chris Stapleton are hitting the stage together, which should be a hit. That's going to be huge. Chris Stapleton could have a tour of his own and hold his own. So the fact that he's going with a country legend like George Strait, that is going to be an epic show. Kenny Chesney, Jason Aldean, and other big names in country will also be having tours in 2024. Creed is also headlining a tour for cruise people who like to go on cruises. This is for you. Creed is doing a cruise tour where they are going on tour on a cruise ship, and they're calling it Summer of '99 Tour. And they will have their own tour on their own cruise ship. So a little blast from the past there for Creed. There's more historical anniversaries happening in 2024. 30 years of Amazon marks this year in 2024. It was founded in 1994. There will be a new capital city for Indonesia, thanks to overpopulation. Also in 2024, there will be more useful artificial intelligence Everybody knows that AI is growing every single day. And ChatGPT just blows my mind how it works, how it can completely write a movie script for you, write a song, write a poem, write a speech. It can do it all. Well, AI is getting even more advanced in 2024. They're saying that the predictions for AI this year in 2024 will surpass Siri and Alexa. So I'm looking forward to see what that is. It's kind of scary though. And then finally, something else new happening in 2024 is new video games. That's right, all you gamers out there, you're going to have a new Final Fantasy installation, and it's called Final Fantasy The Rebirth. So there you go, folks. That is all of the new things happening in 2024, and that is some things to look forward to this year in 2024. Folks, we have a great show ahead of you today. You are listening to Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. Stick with us. We will be right back.
Yo, Lex, the voice of the people. WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
Radio Lex has the support of audio engineer extraordinaire Doug Collins. Thanks, Doug.
यस जाडो मौसममा आफू आफ्नो परिवार लगायत आफ्ना साथीहरूलाई फ्लू र कोभिड-19 खोप लगाई सुरक्षित बनाउनुहोस्। थप जानकारीका लागि lfcsd.org मा सम्पर्क गर्नुहोस्। सबैजना खोप लगाऊ।
Let's see. Oh, shoot.
यस जाडो मौसम
That's not what I need. Messed
Let's
that
go
up.
places safely, Lexington. Are you buckled in?
Hey,
Are
Kathy.
your
She says, welcome back
passengers?
from Vegas. Thank you so
Seatbelts are
much. I
required
appreciate
by
that,
law in
Kathy.
the state of Kentucky, and for good reason. If you're in a crash, wearing your seatbelt can cut your chances of dying almost in half. Hi, I'm Amy from Toyota, reminding you to wear your seatbelt every time.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. The start of the new year means the beginning of award season. This is the time for awards to be given out for people's talent. And one of the biggest award shows kicked off award season this past Sunday. The 81st Annual Golden Globe Awards had a terrible host, actually, Joe Coy. He's some comedian that they hired 10 days before the ceremony. I guess the Golden Globes lost my phone number or they lost my mailing address because I totally would have went and hosted the Golden Globes. So anybody associated with the Hollywood Foreign Press out there, just know that I'm available next January to host the Golden Globes. That way we don't have to sit through the terrible hosting like we did with Joe Coy. I don't even know who he is. He was terrible. I don't think he went over well with the people in the audience. I don't think he went... His reviews are terrible. I don't think anybody watching at home liked him. He made this one Taylor Swift joke where he said that the only difference between the Golden Globes and the NFL is they don't show near as many cutaways of Taylor Swift. And they showed a shot of Taylor Swift getting upset over that. What? I thought that was stupid. I thought it was really stupid when she got upset over that joke. Out of all of the jokes that could have been made about you, you got upset because of that? Seems a little sensitive if you ask me. I can understand getting mad and rolling your eyes like Jada Pinkett Smith does when somebody makes fun of your hair. You wasn't even being made fun of, and then you had to give him this side eye and take a sip of your drink and act and let the world know that you didn't approve of his joke. Who cares, Taylor? Quit being so sensitive. Quit trying to make a story out of everything. That I thought was crazy. When I seen that trending on Twitter that Taylor Swift disapproves of the joke made about her, I was like, oh wow, wonder what joke it is. I wonder how horrible it was. And then I heard the actual joke and I was shocked to hear that it was just that. But The Golden Globes is now being aired on CBS. It originally always aired on NBC, but they are now airing on CBS. It was a 3-hour show, which seems still a bit too long. These shows are turning into such drags for the people to sit through. They need to cut the show down to 2 hours and only present the major awards that everyone cares about. Then they could have a B show that you stream on the Golden Globe YouTube channel, which gives away all of the other awards. That would be my suggestion. But I am going to go over the winners of the major awards given at the 2024 Golden Globes, and it's voted on by the Hollywood Foreign Press Association in Los Angeles, the best film in a drama, for a drama. It went to a film called Oppenheimer, which I haven't seen, which I heard was amazing, and I can't wait to watch it. Best film for a musical or comedy went to Poor Things. Best female actor in a film went for a drama was Lily Gladstone in Killers of the Flower Moon. Best male actor in a film was Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers. He was the best supporting actor. And the guy who won Best Actor for a movie was the guy from Oppenheimer, and I can't even think of his name. Or I had it here, but it just disappeared. Succession, which I watched from beginning to end, won Best TV Drama. I'm going to be honest with you, unpopular opinion here. I thought it was a little overhyped. I think Succession is a little overrated. I don't think that it deserved all of the awards it did, and it took home a ton of awards. It took home, Macaulay Culkin's brother got the Best Actor award for that TV show. The actress in that TV show got Best Actress. The supporting actor in that show got Best Supporting Actor. So it is a show that I feel like could have been much better. They could have done a lot more with it. But hey, what do I know? I'm not on the hiring committee, or the voting committee, I should say, for the Golden Globes. Let's see, Best Animated Film was The Boy and the Heroine. The Best Comedy TV Show was The Bear, which I tried to watch The Bear. I want to like that show, but I can't get into it. After 3 episodes, I'm still not into it. And folks, there was a ton of other Golden Globes given out that night, and I posted a complete list of the winners on Off the Cuff's Facebook page. You can check that out at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks / or you can check that out at facebook.com/Off the Cuff with Adam Banks to get a full list of the 2024 Golden Globe winners. But because it is the Golden Globe award season, and it is award season for movies and TV, and there's a lot of awards given out this time of year. I think next week we have the Emmys, which is the biggest night in TV land. But the Golden Globes is one of the biggest nights for movies. Now, we know the Oscars is the biggest award show for movies, but the Golden Globes is considered the second biggest award given for movies. So it made me start thinking about all of the great movies that are out there. There's a lot. There is a lot. Movies in general evoke a lot of different emotions. Like a lot of you guys could probably think of the funniest movie you've ever seen, or the scariest movie you've ever seen, or the saddest movie that you've ever seen. You probably have your own set of answers to all of these questions. There is no wrong answer. We all interpret emotion differently. So with that being said, since it is award season and the Golden Globes just recently passed, let's talk about some emotional movie moments. We have talked about dramatic moments from movies on this show. We have talked about fearful and scary moments from movies on this show. But an emotion that we've never really talked about when it comes to movies is the emotion of sadness. There are a lot of movies out there that have a lot of sad moments in them. And it made me start thinking of what are some of the saddest movie moments of all time? What are some of the saddest movie scenes of all time? So what I have done is I have created a list of what I feel like is some of the saddest movie scenes in cinematic history. And folks, this is my opinion, obviously off the cuff with Adam Banks. So there's some scenes that you might not agree with that you find sad, but I feel like that this list is pretty solid. If you haven't seen any of these movies and you want to get that sadness emotion evoked, I would recommend watching these movies to get that. Now, I want to start off my list talking about the first film, and the film is My Girl from 1991. This is a coming-of-age movie about a young girl, and her name is Veda. And she has this best friend in this movie named Thomas J., played by Macaulay Culkin. They're best friends. They're like 9, 10 years old. They play together every day. That's her best friend in the world. Well, what happens is Thomas J. is very allergic to bees. And he ends up trying to... Veda, the main character in the movie, the little girl, Thomas J. has a crush on her. And he always had a thing for her. They shared their first kiss together. And she lost her mood ring. Do you guys remember mood rings? The little ring you would put on your finger and your mood would change? She lost her mood ring, and he found it in the woods when he was looking for it because he wanted to find it for her. He wanted to impress her with it, to say he found it. And then while he was looking for it, he stepped in a beehive, and he was extremely allergic to bees. And because of that, it killed him. And this is the scene of when Veda's dad tells Veda that Thomas J. has passed away. So take a listen, folks, at this scene. Now, I'm building this up to the saddest scene in the whole movie, which is the funeral. But this first part of the movie that I'm going to let you listen to, which is extremely sad, is when Veda's dad tells her that Thomas J. is no longer alive. Take a listen. And she couldn't process that news. I mean, how could any little kid process that news? That he died. But this, folks, builds up to the scene that I want you to listen to. And this is the funeral where she attends Thomas J.'s funeral. And what makes this scene so heart-wrenching is that she climbs on top of the casket, trying to climb in the casket with Thomas J., because she sees that he doesn't have his glasses on. And she tells everybody to put his glasses on because he cannot see without his glasses. Take a listen at the scene. And they're pulling her out of the casket to get her away, and she takes off running. This is honestly the best portrayal of grief I've ever seen. No adult actor to this date has done a better job than this little girl in the movie My Girl, which makes it one of the saddest scenes in cinematic history. Okay, the next sad scene on my list of one of the most saddest movie scenes of all time comes from $1 Million Baby, starring Hilary Swank. And this movie is when Hillary becomes this boxer. And she becomes this boxer, this world-renowned female boxer. And she comes from a trailer park. She grew up with no money. She grew up with a bad mom, bad family. And she finally gets to be a famous boxer, and she gets a lot of money from that. So she wants to take care of her family, despite how they treated her. So in this particular scene, she is so excited to tell her mom and her sister that she bought them a house. But listen at how her mom treated her in this scene. It's very, very sad. Why'd you have to buy me a house? Now, obviously, this is not a spoiler, but what happens, this is a spoiler, but the movie's over 20 years old, so I'm not really spoiling it. So what happens at the end of the movie is during one of her fights, she gets sucker punched, and she falls into this stool, and she gets paralyzed from the neck down. And on her deathbed, she is visited by her family, and her family is only there for her to sign over everything that she owns over to them before she dies. Take a listen at her and her mom's final moments. Very sad. And then she sticks the pin in her mouth and expects her to sign it. Very sad scene, and it really just is hurtful because you know that there are families out there that go through that. All right, the next scene on my list of one of the saddest movie scenes of all time comes from The Wizard of Oz, and that is when Dorothy says goodbye to the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, and the Lion. And I think that this is heartbreaking because goodbyes are never easy. Goodbyes are never fun. And they're always really sad when you have to say a goodbye. And this scene in The Wizard of Oz embodies what a goodbye feels like. It's sad. In the movie, she meets these three characters, Tin Man, Scarecrow, the Lion, and they help her on her journey to see the wizard. But at the end of her journey, she has to say goodbye to the three characters that she met, that she became best friends with. And she has to say goodbye knowing she will never see them again. Now, you can make fun of me all you want, but I tell you what, this pulls on the old heartstrings, especially when the Tin Man looks at her and says, "Now I know I have a heart because it's breaking." How sad was that? When she had to hug the Scarecrow and she whispered in his ear, I think I'll miss you most of all. I tell you, as a kid, I was fighting back the tears when that was happening. Chad says on the show thread, how are you going to forget about the NCAA football 2024 coming out this year? Well, I did forget about that. I am excited about that game coming, Chad. Okay, I got one more scene, folks, on the list for one of the saddest movie scenes of all time. And before I play this clip, I just want to say something about this clip. Researchers call this the saddest film of all time. Chances are you've probably never seen it. The movie is called The Champ. And according to science, specifically University of California in Berkeley, researchers said that scientifically they verified this movie from 1979, The Champ, the saddest movie of all time. They said that the ending scene in this movie is by far scientifically proven the saddest scene of all time. And so what they did was they had students sit in a room and they showed 76 clips before an audience of 500 male and 500 female students in 1995. Students recorded how each clip made their mood shift according to the 7 feelings mentioned, like fear, sadness, blah, 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 blah. But it was overwhelming, the fact that this movie, this scene right here, every student almost said that this was the scene that they could not hold back tears. This was the movie scene that they felt like was the saddest movie of all time, beating out movies like Bambi and Old Yeller. So this movie, The Champ, is about a washed-up boxer, and he gets back into the ring to make money so he can provide a better future for his son. And what happens in the end in his final match is he does win the gold. He wins the championship, which is great. But immediately after getting back to the locker room, because of how bad the fight went, he ended up dying in the locker room. And his son is only like 8 years old in the movie. And his emotional and Golden Globe winning performance, by the way, his emotional breakdown that happens after his dad dies in the movie is extremely sad. So hold back the tears, folks, when you hear this scene from The Champ. And as he's crying, they're trying to pull him away as he's trying to wake up his dad by shaking him uncontrollably. And that, folks, is some of the saddest movie scenes in cinematic history. There was a ton that I could have played, but for the sake of time, I won't be able to. I mean, we didn't get to play scenes from Bambi, Oh Yeller, Marley and Me, the movie Radio, the movie What's Eating Gilbert Grape, Stepmom, Click. A lot of movies has a ton of sad scenes, but those that I played, those 4, I feel like are some of the saddest movies in cinematic history. All right, folks, we're going to take another quick break. We still have lots more Off the Cuff with Adam Banks coming at you live after these words. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Radio Lex, WLXU 93.9 LPFM, Lexington, Kentucky.
Radio Lex has the support of tailor-made decorative concrete and epoxy. TailorMadeDCE.com.
Listener contributions make it possible for Radio Lex to reflect the riches and diversity of our community. Donations from listeners like you keep locally produced programming broadcast 24/7 in English on WLXU 93.9 FM and in Spanish WLXL 95.7 FM. It's your generosity that keeps us on the air. Support the voice of the people you want to hear right now. Visit radiolex.us/donate and support Lexington Community Radio right now.
この冬は家族、友達、それにあなた自身を守るためにもインフルエンザとコロナの予防接種を受けてください。
Radio Lex has the support of vinyl sponsor Vanessa Wells Gray. Thank you.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. On the show thread, Chad was talking about the NCAA football game coming out in 2024, and I did forget to mention that at the top of the hour when I was talking about all of the new things coming in 2024. That's right, folks. There will be a college football video game, and what's significant about that is we haven't had one in, 10 years. So finally, we're getting a brand new one. But folks, what you're hearing right now in the background is the fight song for the Michigan Wolverines, who returned to college football's pinnacle last Monday night by beating Washington in the national championship game 34-13. The Wolverines, who were 15-0 this season, sealed their first national title since 1997. After 9 seasons of coaching his alma mater and his third consecutive playoff appearance, Jim Harbaugh did it again, folks. He's just such a great coach. I mean, I wonder if Jim Harbaugh will be the coach at Michigan next year. I personally think he's done. I think he wants something different. I mean, he did everything that he can do at Michigan. He won a national championship with him. I remember the day they hired Jim Harbaugh, and a lot of people were wondering if he would be able to succeed as a college football coach because he was always known as a NFL coach. But look what he did. He went to college and won a national championship. So he has nothing to prove. I think personally he wants to get back into the NFL. And hey, they just released that Bill Belichick is no longer the coach at the Patriots. So hello, maybe Jim Harbaugh could slide into that New England job. Wouldn't that be something? He took over Michigan in 2015, so almost 10 years in college, 9 seasons total. I think he is ready for a change. But congratulations to the Michigan Wolverines. You are the 2024 national champions. It's hard to believe that football is over. College football is over. I remember when it started just a few months ago. Everybody was so excited getting on the sporting apps and betting, and now we got to wait a whole other year for college football. We still have NFL, though. But the big question is whether or not Jim Harbaugh coached his last game at Michigan. Will he go to the NFL again? I say yes. I think that the Patriots have probably already been on the phone with him. But only time will tell. All right, folks, we are going to take Off the Cuff's Song of the Break, and I'm going to do an oldie. How about Taking Back Sunday? And this is an old school punk rock song. A lot of people probably thought I was going to be playing new music in 2024, but how about an oldie for the audience? Enjoy a little Thanks for the Memories. This isn't Thanks for the Memories. That just goes to show how prepared I was for that song. It's called Make Damn Sure by Taking Back Sunday. All right, folks, we'll be back after the song. All right, let's see. Valerie says, wow, a ton of interesting stuff for 2024. Thanks for the news. You're very welcome. We are very...
I'm gonna make damn sure that you can't ever leave. No, you won't ever get too far from me. You won't ever get too far from me. I'll make damn sure that you can't ever leave. No, you won't ever get too far from me. You won't ever get too far from me. You won't ever get too far from me. You won't ever get too far. I just wanna bring you down so badly. Everything.
Everybody probably thought that the biggest news in college football was going to be talking about Michigan winning the national title, but it is indeed not the biggest story in college football, thanks to Nick Saban, ladies and gentlemen, announcing his retirement from college football. He is the head coach of Alabama, and I will say this, no questions asked, hands down, the greatest college football coach of all time. As a matter of fact, he might be one of the greatest coaches in any sport of all time. Watching Nick Saban coach football is like watching a master class. He looked like a football coach. He sounded like a football coach. He acted like a football coach. I never bet against Nick Saban when he had games because I knew he could pull it off regardless of the situation he was in. He's down 20, don't matter. He'll come back, and not only come back, but win. He's down 40, it don't matter. He'll come back, and not only come back, he'll win. Just the way Tom Brady used to do it as a quarterback for the Patriots, Nick Saban did the same thing as a coach for Alabama. You never bet against him. You never counted him out. He lost like his second game of the season this year, and everybody thought, oh, that's it for Alabama. Alabama's done. They're in the toilet bowl. Nick Saban is trash. And then Nick Saban went on to win like, 12, 13 games this season? Yeah, really done. But Nick Saban, folks, he's calling it quits. He spent 17 years coaching at Alabama. They have been conditioned and at that state to be the best program of all time. Think about the success that they're used to thanks to Nick Saban. Nick Saban, who is 72, that's nothing to scoff at. That's getting up there in age. He decides that he is done with coaching. Even though he is great at it, he is the best at it, the best to ever do it, he says he's done. He led Alabama to 3 national titles in the BCS era and 3 in the college Rose Bowl. So his early career, it started at Toledo, where he spent 1 season in 1990. Then he spent 5 seasons at Michigan State, and then another 5 at LSU. And then he won his first national championship at LSU in 2003. Then he briefly jumped to the NFL and led the Miami Dolphins for 2 seasons before he landed at Alabama as the head coach in 2007. In total, Nick Saban compiled a career college record of 292 and 71. Assuming he doesn't unretire, he'll finish at number 5 on the all-time wins list. 112 wins behind all-time leader Joe Paterno. Absolutely an unbelievable record and an unbelievable career for Nick Saban. Throughout his career as head coach, he has won 7 national championships, folks, 11 conference championships, and 312 games at 40. Think about that. I can't even process those numbers. People want to ask, is Saban the best coach in college football history? Yes, he is the best coach in college football history. I just cannot believe that the game won't have him anymore. It really will be different without Nick Saban on the sidelines. And when teams beat Alabama, it won't mean as much. Could Kentucky beat Alabama now? Yes, because they don't have Nick Saban. But will it mean as much as it did when they had Nick Saban? No, because you really are beating such an incredible coach. Look at the coaches who coached under him. Kirby Smart, Jim McElwain, Lane Kiffin, Michael Oglinski, Steve Sarkisian, and the New York Giants coach Brian Daboll. They all served as coordinators under Nick Saban. So think about the incredible coaches, the incredible coaching tree he has built. His departure from Alabama, from the game, opens up the most coveted coaching job in college football. And Alabama has the pick of the litter. They can get anybody they want. But I will say this, Alabama will be different forever. They hit their apex. They hit their peak. They had the greatest coach of all time coaching their program. And now when they get their new coach, yes, it could be a great one. Yes, they could win another title, but they will never have the level of success that they did under Saban, because literally we got to witness the greatest coach in the game to ever do it at Alabama. So it will be interesting to see who they hire and what happens to that program. I'm ecstatic to know that the Alabama fans don't have Saban anymore. I loved Saban, don't get me wrong, but I just cannot wait for all of these bandwagon Alabama fans to go to another team and like somebody else, and they will never even mention Alabama again because they won't be as good as they were. All right, folks, we still have one more segment to go. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
이번 겨울 독감 예방 주사와 코로나19 예방 접종을 받으셔서 가족, 친구, 그리고 자신을 보호하십시오. lfchd.org를 방문하셔서 자세한 내용을 알아보시고 우리 모두 꼭 예방 접종을 받읍시다.
Welcome back, everybody, to Off the Cuff. Adam Banks here with you. Last segment of the hour. Off the Cuff's quote of the week comes from a lady named Mary Schmish. Mary Schmish is an American journalist. She was a columnist for the Chicago Tribune from 1992 to 2021, winning the Pulitzer Prize in 2012. And the quote of the week is this: whatever you do, don't congratulate yourself too much or berate yourself either. Your choices are half chance, so are everybody else's. And I love that quote because what that quote is wanting to drive home for everybody. What that message is no matter what kind of success that you got, no matter what all happens to you that's great, don't congratulate yourself, don't berate yourself and put yourself up on a pedestal so much, because at the end of the day, that choice that you made could have equally went as bad as it did good. Your choices are half chance. It's 50-50 every time you do something. And sometimes people, they make choices, the same choices that you make, but they have a different outcome. Not because they did anything different. It's just the way life happens. So always keep that in mind. When you become really successful and you're berating yourself and you're putting yourself on a pedestal and you're berating yourself all around town, just remember that your choices are half chance and so are everybody else's. So you are really no better than the next person. All right, folks, that pretty much wraps up another episode of Off the Cuff with Adam Banks, our first episode of 2024. If you like what you heard today, you'll probably like our previous episodes. So follow us on podcasts. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. You can follow the show on social media at Off the Cuff with Adam Banks. You can follow me on social media at The Adam Banks. We release new episodes every Thursday from 4 to 5 right here on WLXU 93.9 FM, which means we will be back same time, same place. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Off the Cuff, and I am Adam Banks, the king of radio. I will see you next Thursday.